Today's journey takes us to Kentucky's largest city, Louisville, Kentucky, as we search the landscape for unique and historic cemeteries. Most of the time in my home state, we are on a hillside or perhaps at one of the famous graves that are well marked and visited. That is not the case today. Amongst such establishments as Home Depot, Bed Bath & Beyond, and the local restaurant Rafferty's is the concrete walls and high shrubs that hold the final resting place of the Burks family in Burks Family Cemetery. This is a perfect example and a true case of a cemetery that is hidden in plain view. You simply would never know that there is a cemetery here or give thought to that fact. The natural question is why and how. Let's explore those questions. James Burks, from all accounts, was a wealthy horse farmer. His farm was on the very land that we currently stand, and although the land was obviously sold and developed throughout the years, a small part of 1800s America still stands within the walls of this burying ground. James was married to Matilda. Matilda is laid to rest here with James. It is said that when James married Matilda that she was already a landowner with a lot of land, herself a widow. When both of their lands were combined, it made them the owners of a very large amount of land. Two of their sons, along with an infant, are buried in this cemetery, and I will show you the gravestones of all of those. The Burks family was certainly wealthy for their days, something that isn't always the case in this area. And although the land has been developed and has grown up around it, this cemetery is a reminder of what once was. The descendants of the Burks, although willing to sell the land, never signed off on the sale of the cemetery and never agreed to any movement of the cemetery. And now, in the middle of this shopping center parking lot, in the largest city in Kentucky, lies the final remains of the Burks family, and it is here that we pay our respects to them and share another part of history. And now we are looking at the stone of James Burke. James' stone was a little bit harder to read than the others. You can see there, I will go ahead and zoom in, but you can tell by looking at these stones that this family did have some wealth, because I have seen similar or stones from similar time periods and nothing like this in some areas of Kentucky. Here's the wife, Matilda, and you can see there she only lived to be 56. And when we get to the stones of two of their sons, you'll see that they lived very short lives also. So this family, even through their wealth, did have to deal with some tragedy. The infant in here, I never was able to figure out whether that infant was a child of James and Matilda or maybe a grandchild. I don't really know, but you can tell by the stone it was definitely an infant. This is going to be the stone of one of the sons, Charles Burks. And you can tell by looking at the stone there, not exactly a long life for Charles Burks. And there is actually you can see there in the background one of the large buildings. I think that's a Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. I don't know if it's the headquarters or a restaurant or what, but just a big building just kind of highlights in the background there what we're dealing with. And this was really, I mean, you talk about hidden in plain sight. This cemetery really was, and I have never been here before, never even heard of it, and just an unbelievable find. Another one of the sons here. I zoomed in on this because I thought this was rather unique. You can see the hunting dog with a rabbit below it. I'm certain that this son enjoyed that. Samuel, son of James and Matilda, died April 7th, 1851 in his 20th year. So like I said, very young. And, you know, this family did have to endure some tragedy, it appears. Here's the footstone, aged, I believe this is 3 months. And you can see the little statue of the infant lying there in the snow. It's been a snowy month here in Kentucky. But here is the grave of the infant. But, you know, when you first come upon this, I was looking for a cemetery because I had read about it. So I was looking for it. If you didn't know that there was a cemetery here, it looks decorative. I mean, this looks like it was designed this way as some sort of way to decorate the place and make the parking lot look a little better, but that is not the case. This is just a cemetery that somehow has stood the test of time. It was an absolute honor for me to visit, and we're walking back out the gate here, and I like this shot here so you can see what I'm talking about. You go through the gate, and you will see that you just come out into a shopping center. I mean, it's just unbelievable that this has made it. And there were some signs that people do visit this, so I think this is one of those locations that once you find out about it, people do want to see it. But you can see a Bed Bath & Beyond there, and over to my right, as we're panning through there, you will see there's a Home Depot in the background. So all of my videos are cemetery related. There is going to be one coming on the screen. Please watch that. Please click subscribe and join me. I try to find journeys like this wherever I can. From Louisville, Kentucky, I will see you again soon.